This is another reading of Mehera-Meher, page 549. As Kitty mentioned, after Baba dropped his body, the women Mandali began a routine of saying the Masters and Beloved God prayers every morning, and in the evening, the Arti and repentance prayer. During a certain period in the last phase of his work, Baba was having the prayers said in his presence in Mandalay Hall. And again, when he came to be with the women. After Baba dropped his body, we continued. We say the prayers, sing Arti, and each one bows down at the pillow by his bed. When we do it together like that, Baba's presence is so much stronger, each one bringing Baba with her. We can bring so much more of Baba like that. Every day in the morning and evening, we do our prayers. After Arti at night, we used to have our supper and then go to bed by 10 or 10:30. But as Arti time became later, we had supper earlier, before Arti. So Naja was free of the kitchen. Mehera goes to bed very late. She feels she wants to be with Baba after everyone has gone to sleep and it's all quiet. Because Mehera goes to bed sometimes at 1 a.m., Goher calls her to wake up at 6 or so. Side note says, Mehera set the alarm, but just as it was about to go off every morning, she turned it off and dozed for another 15 minutes. Morning Arti is said at 7:30 a.m. For both morning and evening prayers, Mehera stood by the window opposite Baba's bed, where her seat was in Baba's time, and faced Baba's bed. After breakfast, Mehera dusted the pictures in Baba's room. Certain photos I clean myself, she said. And the side note says Meheru did the other dusting. When the bird's food outside is finished, I add more. I wind my clock, clean my own dressing table, make my own bed. For Mehera, dusting each picture was like a meditation. Meheru clarified, a communion with Baba. So I tried to get all my things done before she came into the room. While Mehera was in Baba's room, Meheru picked flowers from the garden for the garlands she and Mehera threaded for Baba's photos. Side note, in later years, as Meheru has stated, as demands on Mehera's time increased, Meheru made the garlands alone. Concerning the garlands, they had to be placed just so. Meheru continued. Where Baba's things were concerned, Mehera never missed a thing. Mani's mind is sharp, but if she missed a garland, Meheru would point out to straighten it. Mehera could be forgetful of other things, but where Baba's things were concerned, she would be so attentive. Mehera was so particular to tell Casey, a cook, a Western resident, to stand out of the way as her shadow was falling on Baba's photo. Casey hadn't seen it as the shadow was behind her. Another painting by Jim Frosino, which used to be in the living room, the the slightest angle or tilt, Mehera would scold me. Why didn't you straighten it? Half an inch difference? What does it matter? I asked. She explained. See how that shadow comes straight on Baba's eye? It shouldn't be like that. I never made that mistake again. And the side note says, In 1980, when the murals were brought for the Meherabad Pilgrim Center, Mehera praised them but also pointed out some corrections she wished made by Phyllis Ott, and even posed for some. Sometimes Meheru helped Mehera dust the photos in Baba's room. As Mehera lifted each photo, Meheru dusted behind it with a peacock feather brush, which did not damage the walls. Side note, Meheru also used the brush to brush the ceiling for cobwebs. The servant mopped the floor in Baba's bedroom with a wet cloth. Mehera sometimes wiped the pictures with a damp cloth. The small stool in Baba's room was for the kerosene lantern that was always kept burning each evening in Baba's time. Now, also the lantern is lit in the evening in case the electricity goes off. Baba told Mehera to keep a kerosene lantern in her bathroom and not to go there in the dark, as once a scorpion was there. A small bulb burns outside by Baba's tree, but if the lights went off, Mehera took the bathroom kerosene lantern and placed it in her window, so that light was still shining on Baba's face. In the evenings at Meherazad, the screens on the windows in Baba's room are shut before dark. Mehera went to her room and changed her clothes. Previously, Arti was sung regularly before dinner, but as Mehera developed her own time schedule, which could vary each day in the latter years, the others did the Arti on their own. Dinner was at 8:30, but usually Mehera was not hungry. They tried to persuade her to have a little something with them. If nothing else, Meheru tried to tempt her with a cup of soup. After dinner, Mehera might read for a bit. I like to read by the light of the sky, said Mehera, not by electric lights. If it is still light outside, I read a bit. My actual nature is rather on the lazy side, she admitted. I don't have as much energy as the others. Naja has more energy than I do, even though her body is larger. At Maharazad, I go round the garden in the morning to see which vegetables are ripe for picking, which flower bed has good flowers for Baba's tree, his room. Gardening takes up much of my time. Baba has told me to do it. That's why I do it. During the day, I will be working in the garden, absorbed in my work. Sometimes I stop and think, Baba, I love you. Are you with me, Baba? Be with me. In your work, you get absorbed, but you should stop and remember Baba and then go back to work. Every morning, I come on the veranda and tell Baba, walk through the garden again as you used to. I picture Baba walking to the porch from the Mondale's side. In the evening, I picture him walking about in the back garden. Once, when Sheila visited Meherazad on Sunday, Mehera was cleaning Baba's room and allowed Sheila to help her. Mehera told me to hold the case with Baba's sandals while she dusted the table, Sheila recalled. She was so deliberate and careful. She would very slowly remove the dust from the edges while I held the case. Mehera warned Sheila not to shake the case. In brackets, as if the sandals were alive and Baba would be shaken, cautioning her to hold it steady. Mani explained, Mehera treated every article of the beloved with utmost loving gentleness and personal tenderness, as though it was actually a part of himself. The side note says Mehera was fond of this well-known Hindi couplet of Kabir's. Here it is. Everyone remembers God during times of trouble, not during peace and happiness. He who remembers God during peace and happiness, why will he ever face sorrow? So that's referring back to um, the 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 thought she had that to remember Baba while every now and then stop your work and remember Baba. I would go to Meherazad for lunch, Sheila continued, and bring something my mother had prepared. Whenever Mehera sat for lunch, she always offered the first bite to Baba, as if he were joining us for lunch. After lunch one day, Mehera sat on the veranda and Sheila joined her. Mehera said, somehow I can't enjoy my food now. Sheila thought that perhaps her mother had not prepared the dish well, but Mehera explained, it is the same food your mother has cooked for Baba. That time it was so tasty, but now without Baba's physical form, I can't enjoy it. And she started to weep. Who will give me so much love now? Mehera asked with a mournful expression. Other things too lost their appeal. Previously, whenever mangoes came, Mehera once remarked, it was like a precious commodity. Nowadays, after Baba dropped his body, no one cares about them. Mani added, now, when we have all the things we were short of with Baba, such as butter and cream, we cannot enjoy them. Mehera doesn't really like butter, but Baba said to take it, so she takes a little. Mehera, Mehera says, now, when I eat anything, I tell Baba, Baba, eat with me. And I talk to Baba's picture. Baba, did you taste that curry today? Did you feel that taste in your mouth when I ate it? Before eating, I straighten Baba's dining chair, adjust the cushions. Then we all eat. I feel as if Baba is eating with us. I tell Baba, come and eat with me. I go to bed every day at midnight. I keep Baba's window open till then. Gohar and others tell me I mustn't keep it open so late. In my mind, I remember a dream Mani had about 5 years ago. Some thieves were coming as Mani heard the whistles from the Mandali's side. I guess that's in her dream. She and Gohar went to close all the windows of the house. The last one she was to close was the one with Baba's tree outside my bed. She thought, should I close this one? She looked at Baba's image. Baba winked at her as if to say, I'm here with you. It's all right. I am here always, protecting you. I still don't close that window, remembering this dream. I say to Gohar, Baba's image is there. Baba's divinity is there. Baba is everywhere, and Baba is looking after us. So why should I be afraid? One day there was a very strong wind at Meherazad. Baba's tree was also swaying. Baba's image looked so lovely, moving back and forth as if Baba were shaking his head. Meheru has an order from Baba not to read after 9 p.m. So the others give her her choice of the newspapers and so on, which she quickly reads after dinner. After 9, she listens to the radio till 10:30, while the others go through the paper. Mani goes to bed between 10:30 and 10:45. Gohar goes to bed a bit earlier, 9:30 p.m. I am in the dining room, sort of meditating, because I think of Baba and all the years we were with him. Every little detail of how Baba used to shave there in the dining room, have his breakfast, how I would make tea for him, how he would sip the tea, how sweet he was. I remember all that. I bring all that to mind to imagine, as if Baba's still here. During monsoon season, I tell him, Baba, there's so many hours of the night. At least let it rain for 1 hour. I ask for a little rain now and a little bit later, not all at once. And the side note, referring back to the open window, says the security problem was saved by having latticed steel grills fitted to the windows, which could open and close with a lock for safety. This allowed the free flow of air, and Mehera could close and lock the window as late as she liked. Mehera continues, I meditate till 11:30. The watchman's gong goes off. I have a drink of water. Then I go to Baba's room and back to mine. I do things slowly with love and concentration. I kiss Baba's photo. You you can't just do it quickly. It takes time. And we'll pause the recording here for change the reader and discuss. Okay, we're resuming the recording with Mikal from Israel reading. Well, first we're looking at photos.
Looking at a photo of Mera and Sheila and Meru going up the hill to Baba Samadhi. And it's not Meru, it's Arnavaz, I think. Mera carrying baskets of flowers and Merabat hill offer. Sheila Kalchui and Meru, so it is Meru, yeah. November 1971, that's after Baba left the body. Beautiful photo.
It is pretty, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess Sheila was being young, was allowed to wear a short skirt.
Yeah. Mm. And there's Mera bowing down to Baba's Samadhi with what they call a jali. A jali is like a big string, garlanded string that looks like cloth. And so it's over the cloth of Baba's Samadhi, and Mera is, so I think it's Mera. Can you see? Inside Baba's tomb, December 1974, David Fenster has taken this photo. Does it say that it's Mera?
Doesn't know. And you may be interested to know that Americans have a similar thing where we at Christmas we get um a like a blanket made of greens, of from pine trees and fir trees, and we put it over our loved ones' graves.
Oh, no, I didn't know. That's beautiful. Thank you. Wow, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting to the chapter 164, Dreaming. Khorshid remained in Bombay for a number of years after Meher Baba dropped the body. Whenever she visited Meherazad, tension invariably arose between her and the others. The main reason, Khorshid contended, though everyone else disputed this, was that others were jealous of her special friendship with Mera. After Baba dropped his body, for example, Khorshid wished to stay permanently at Meherazad. Baba had sent her a letter in 1961 asking whether she would stay with Mera. Khorshid, however, felt that others did not want this. One reason, in her opinion, was that Khorshid always observed how Mera wished certain things to be done and then argued with the others. Do as Mera says, she would exhort them. According to Khorshid, Mehra was not the type to argue having her own way. According to Meru, there was other reasons why Khorshid did not move to Meherazad immediately after Baba dropped his body. We knew that years before, Baba had asked a number of close ones to come and be with us in Meherazad, to be there for Mehra, that Mehra should be taken care of, surrounded by love. Most of them, like Katie, Arnavaz, and Gaimai's family, felt that coming to Meherazad at such a time would not be right, would not be a help, rather the opposite. Shall I read the side note now?
Mm.
Although such situations did arise, to be fair, there were usually practical, pragmatic reasons for changing Mera's mind about about some things of which Khorshid was not aware of. No, some things of which Khorshid was unaware. To the others, Khorshid's concern often made persuading Mera to agree to the change that much more difficult. I didn't get that.
Oh,
Okay.
it just means that uh, Cor Khorshid w would have preferred to go with Mahara's point of view, whereas Mani and the others might be trying to persuade Mahara um, uh, to do for practical reasons.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Otherwise, mm.
Okay. So in 1969, Katie and Arnavaz stayed in Mirazad for a few days, not only to be with the Mandali, but to deal with their own loss. Khorshid also came and wanted to stay here. She was permitted to come to Mirazad quite often, and she knew it was all right to stay on short visits. She used to sleep with her bedding on the carpet in the sitting room, roll it up, and place it someplace else in the daytime. But she did not take into account that to come to stay and to bring her aged mother, Sunamasi, also was quite a different thing. There was no space. Where to house them? How could Sunamasi manage things? This had to be taken into account. Mani and others tried to reason with Khorshid that this was not the time to create problems for Mera and for us, but to help us at such a time when everyone was heartbroken. After all, we were facing the biggest problems in our lives. How and what to do in Merazad, how to live now, how to take care of Mera. Later these, Khorshid's and Sunamasi's living arrangements and other things could be sorted out. And though Khorshid herself was not happy that she was not staying at Merazad, she was not ready to cut her ties and connection with Bombay either. Khorshid was very attached to a little child and her family and wanted them too to be somehow on the staff of Merazad. Even when she and Masi, Datsuna Masi, came to stay in rooms at Kushu quarters, which Adi gave them, Khorshid frequently went off to Bombay, leaving a woman attendant to take care of Masi. Katie came to live at Merazad 10 years after Baba dropped his body, when the new clinic was completed. The old clinic had been housed in Kaka's room and the adjoining room. Mani shifted her office to the attached room, and Katie occupied Mani's old office on the woman's side. There was no extra accommodation in Merazad unless it was created. No one was then in a state to think of doing that in 1969. Yet Khorshid, in her love for Mera, cared deeply about trying to please her, and Baba had so often told her to keep Mera happy. Sometimes We sit together and reminisce, Khorshid said. Mehera feels what happy days they were before with Baba. We never dreamed that these days without his physical form would come. As Adi Sr. says, the best of life was being with Baba, and now the worst is without him. Mani reiterated the same sentiment. It never occurred to me at any time that it will ever be, that we will continue to live and Baba would no more be with us in physical form. Because we have not just visited Baba, nor just been for a few years with Baba. There is nothing we have done on our own, nothing that was not from him, through him, by him, under his direction. And here suddenly we were on our own. But I tell you, Baba does it. I just couldn't believe it. So, Khorshid and her mother Sunamasi, that's a side note. Khorshid and her mother Sunamasi were living at Irani mansions in Bombay, where Baba and Mehera had stayed several times in 1924. Khorshid moved to Meher Nazar, Khushru Quarters, Ahmednagar in 1980, where she lived for almost 20 years. She passed away on 4 August 1999. Mani reiterated the same sentiment. No, but Baba, I tell you, Baba does it. So, we were happy just serving him. That's all we got, and that's all we still want. I, or any of us who were with him, cannot convey that there is nothing beyond that to want. I still tell people, long for what we received. As far as I'm concerned, it is the only thing worth asking for. It is not that you have anything less. It is a different angle, a different view of Baba. We must have longed for ages to be with him. It does not happen instantaneously. The very fact that you wish to know, the very fact that you would like to taste the taste of that, it will come. The moment you ask for something concerning him, it is already given. Wow. Wow. The receiving will take time. How else could I have, from the very cradle, adored him, wanted to be with him, to do what he would want us to do, to be a little more worthy of the love he gives, is an opportunity that only comes once in a lifetime. If we had been with Baba for something, expecting something, waiting for something, then when Baba dropped his body, we would have felt something so incomplete that we would have felt lost, ruffled, all confused. But it wasn't like that, because we weren't with Baba for anything but himself, to please him, to love him, to do for him what he wants. This was just a continuation of doing what he wants. He wants this, the ultimate, in brackets, living without his physical presence. All right. It just proves Baba's completeness. Otherwise, we couldn't have carried on. Now we continue to do what we did when with Baba, but we have no more the liberty of telling him sometimes, Baba, enough is enough, or Baba, you really want me to do this? Someone asked Mani, would you like to go back to those days when you were with Baba, to those golden olden days? Mani replied bluntly, not if we had to cross what we crossed in 1969. Wow. I think back of it on if we could be back with Baba, reading to him in his room, how good it would be. But not if we had to go through again what we went through when he dropped his body. If we went back in the past, knowing that we would have to pass through those days again, then never again. We weren't gradually brought into the world. We were plunged headlong into it. Still, the only want is just to be with him, she concluded. I was with him from the time I was born. How beautiful. But still, it isn't enough, Mera said. Baba was with us all these years. We were in his physical presence. Now Baba wants us to be like this. He wants us to feel that he is with us. Baba says, you lived with my physical presence. Now live without it. Be happy in this experience also. He wants us to remember him and love him. Of course, everyone loves Baba. Each and every one of you love Baba. He wants only to be loved, Mera added. Now I see what Baba meant by life is a dream, a film. When my father was alive, we had one kind of life. After that he died, another. Then at Sakori, and then with Baba. Now this life, without his physical presence. It's all a dream, really. In regards to dreams, Mera herself had 3 dreams of Baba at this time, the first just after he dropped his body. She did not remember much, except that in it she was embracing him. In the second, Baba was standing with a vast multitude of people. There were no women, only men around him in the circle. Baba was standing against the wall of the house, next to an arch or a doorway. I found myself standing in the middle of an entrance. I felt so happy to see him. Baba is so near. I felt so happy. I went up to Baba and felt so much love for him. I saw his hand. He used to roll up his sadra, he used to roll up his sadra sleeves when he was working. I caressed Baba's hands and said, Baba, Baba darling, how lovely, Baba. I was feeling his hand and held it. Baba held my hand also. As soon as we were grasping hands, Goher came in the morning to wake me up. Mera, Mera, it's time to get up, she said. I said, it's good you didn't call me a second earlier. It would have spoiled my dream. Mera related the dream and Goher said, anyway, Baba held your hand. That was enough. Mera did not remember the third dream of Baba clearly either. It was 15 days or so after Baba dropped his body. She saw that Baba was sleeping lying on the floor. She was upset that he did not have a pillow. I was very concerned. I sat down and took his head, and crossing my legs, I placed his head on my lap. Baba looked to me and said that he wasn't at all comfortable. Then I changed my position and put my legs straight. I made him rest his head on my lap, and it was okay. It was a very short dream. Baba looked middle-aged, about 40 or 43. His hair was back, and he was wearing a sadra. When I got up, I wasn't happy at all. It was nice to have dreamt of Baba, but then it was only a dream. The real thing, Mera concluded, is to remember Baba wholeheartedly at the right time. Wholeheartedly at the right time. He might even appear. I pray to Baba about certain things or for a particular person, but then we must leave it to him and be resigned to his will. Mani described 3 dreams she had of Mera. I am walking along Merazad Road. I see the other women by the end of the road, by the lake. I turn around towards Merazad, and I'm calling out as if for help. Something has happened. Something has distressed me in my dream, and I'm running. As I reach toward the gate, I stand still. I'm halted by a light round a tree. It's not fierce light, but a bright light with a bluish tinge. I am walking softly now. Where's the light coming from? I find it's around this mango tree on the approach road, under which Beidul sat in a small makeshift cabin as watchman. That's in brackets. I came slowly towards it, as if approaching a church. I turn round and face the tree. There is the alcove, hollow or grotto, where Beidul used to sit, plastered with white cement so the tree won't die, as it was before the tree was removed. Is in there as it was before the tree was removed. In there is Our Lady, the Madonna, seated. She has the blue mantle on and a small crown. She has this beautiful blue light around her, resplendent, radiant. There is so much joy in my heart, automatically I fall at her feet and put my head in her lap. And I'm so happy. I know this is Our Lady, Mother Mary. Then I look up and find that it is Mera. I hide my face again in her lap again. I look up, no, in her lap. Again, I look up, and this time it's Mary. Again, I put my head down and then look up, and it's Mera. Mary, Mera, Mary, Mera. I'm so full of joy, and again I bow down. Next morning, I ran to the tree. I brought flowers to the tree once a month or so. The tree flourished. The mangoes were very sweet, but in 1987 or so it died in this terrible drought when we went to Pune. Mani's second dream also illustrates Mera's position. There was a deep canal of a river or ocean. Baba was on one side and Mera and I on the other side. Mera dives into the canal and doesn't come up. She doesn't reappear at all. Baba takes off his coat, neatly folds it, and puts it down. He leans over me. He leans over to me, shakes hands with me, and I nod in agreement. Then Baba dives in to rescue Mera, and I woke up. The dream means that Mera represents creation, and Baba taking off his coat is dropping his body. Even in dropping his body, it is to save creation out of love, his love for creation. I noted that, yes, I would pull on as Baba had to go. In the third dream, the women Mandali were sitting around Baba. Mera said she had to go to the bathroom. Baba asked, how long would it take? 20 minutes, said Mera. 20 minutes? Baba asked. Then he told Mera, remember, eat well and sleep well. Mani often reminds Mera of this dream, as she felt it was a message to Mera to maintain her health. Mera too dreamt of Baba once. Baba was seated in a chair while the women Mandali sang arati to him. He asked her what she thought when she bowed to him. To let us be more and more worthy of your love for us, she replied. Good, Baba signed. So, okay, I will stop here and thank you for the reading.
Thank you. I'll pause the recording and we can discuss and change the reader. We're resuming the recording with Meher Kiran of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
So we are reading chapter Dreaming. Mehera said she had to go to the bathroom.
Oh,
Baba asked,
I'm sorry, Meher. It's from there, from the top in the ensuing years.
Okay, in the ensuing years, Mehra's birthday was celebrated at Mehrabad on 22nd December, and Baba's birthday was celebrated each year at 5 a.m. on 25th February. As she related, Mehra was always a sound sleeper. To get up early for Baba's birthday, she set the alarm clock next to her bed and put a tin cover over it. Still, she would not hear it, and Goher, Mani, and Meru had to wake her that day. Mehra
Wow.
described the birthdays after Baba dropped his body. The evening before, we tie flowers into garlands. I do Baba's room and place a ghee lamp flame there, which burns all night long. Rising at 3:30 a.m., by 4 we are washed. We adorn the house with vases of flowers and the doorways with flowered festoons. At 10 or 15 minutes before 5, we are standing in Baba's room wearing our nice clothes. We repeat God's name softly to ourselves. The Iranis say Yazdan, the Parsis Ahur Masta. On the stroke of 5, we ring the bell and call out 7 times Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. We take darshan. The mandali are also shouting it in the hall, concentrating on Baba. Then we come out of the room. The mandali comes to Baba's room. We stand on the veranda and say Jai Baba to them. They say it back to us. We go to see their hall and how it has been decorated. Then back to the house, where we garland Baba's photo, sing happy birthday, and put out the cables on the table. For the last many years, when Baba's birthday was celebrated at Mehrazad, I so wish that Baba was here to see his lovers, in brackets weeping. How many, how happy he would look. So happy, the look in his eyes. That's how I sometimes feel. But Baba can see you, each one. Baba can hear you, can see you. Only we cannot see him. That's the difference. But Baba wants to be loved. That is what's important to him. So he's happy with our love. But that love should be till the very, very end. Happen what may. Reminiscing another day, Mehera said,
There are side notes. Two
okay,
sides.
let's. Mehera concentrated on Baba's photo as she repeated Yazda. On Baba's birthday, each of the women embraced Mehra. In Baba's time, they had embraced him. Oh yeah, we'll continue now. Side notes are done. Reminiscing another day, Mehera said, when I first came to Baba, that time comes so vividly to mind. It is all very vivid. I remember how I met Baba, hearing him sing, seeing him walking, having his lunch. How Baba used to talk and tell us a story. Baba's voice was really beautiful. You all sing and remind me of Baba's voice. Baba loved music, and when you sing, I say, Baba, your children sing to you, and I feel in my heart, Baba is telling me, yes, I love to hear them sing. How he enjoyed music, he loved songs and music. I only wish Baba was physically present to hear you all, so that you could see the joy shining in his lovely eyes. But then you would be so absorbed in looking at him, you would not be able to sing so beautifully. You cannot see him, but he can see you all. Ask him, and he hears. He is God. You are lucky to have good voices sing to Baba. Even now he can hear you. Baba was so lovely and beautiful. We have not enough adequate words to praise Baba's love, his beauty, his sweetness, his naughtiness. Baba was sweet but naughty, Mehera repeated with a smile. Mehera continued to visit Meherabad for darshan every 2 weeks. Although she routinely wore a skirt and blouse at Meherazad, she dressed in a sari when she went to Meherabad. Before leaving, she stood before Baba's picture and asked him how she looked. To be at Meher Baba's tomb when Mehera and the other women were present was to be in the holiest, most sacrosanct and sanctified of atmospheres. Inside the tomb, Mehera knelt to kiss Baba's samadhi, putting her first her right cheek, then her left cheek on the marble, as she whispered, Baba darling, Baba darling. When she offered flowers, she kissed each rose first and held it to her heart before offering it to her beloved. While reciting the prayers, Mehera raised her eyes every so often to Baba's photograph in brackets which had been placed in the tomb and kissed towards it, remembering him always. As the arti was sung, Mehera's eyes remained focused on Baba's photo, whispering to him, weeping silently, pleading with him, and pledging her love. Her prayer was this: Beloved Baba, may me one day be worthy of your beautiful love for us. Over the years, Mehra was careful not to do anything that might damage the samadhi. For example, she stopped applying a small bit of perfume to the sheet that covered the marble when others started doing it every day to protect the marble slab. Mehra even stopped kissing or even placing her forehead on it. She was distraught when too many garlands were piled on the samadhi, in brackets, feeling that Baba himself was actually burdened by their weight. To protect the murals inside the tomb, she never leaned against the walls, even when her back was aching. Said Mani. Mehra used to be really upset whenever thorns were not removed from the roses offered to Baba Samadhi or in his room. She would make sure that each day and every thorn was removed from the stems before the roses were offered to Baba. She said, the world has given enough thorns to God, his lovers must never do so. After coming out of the tomb and paying her respects inside Baba's cabin, Mehra usually visited Kaikoba's family. Baba had once told the Dastur girls that after he dropped his body, Gulu and her sister Jalu should obey Mehera and do whatever she told them. And they always respected Mehera's wishes. By Baba's Gadi at Upper Meherabad, Mehera revealed during one in visit. Now all the details come back to me about being with Baba. The big things about coming to Baba I remember, but all the little things, how Baba used to be seated on my bed at Meherabad and how I would cook food for him. Now I appreciate it more than then. Of course, then I appreciated it, but now I think about how fortunate I am to have that Baba sitting on my bed, waiting for his food, and then eating it. How fortunate I am to have cooked Baba's food. One day, Mehra showed a group of us the tiny swing with Baba's photo in it in the cabinet in her room at Meherabad, which she had so painstakingly made. She sang the entire song, Lullaby and Good Night, lullaby and good night to it, then kissed her hands and touched Baba's photo. Baba's body is in the tomb, she commented, but he himself is everywhere. His body was the court, but he is present everywhere. There is also divinity in the samadhi, because in that body God lived. Otherwise, he is at Meherazad just as much. We must not feel that Baba is just at Meherabad. Baba has left his court, but Baba as God is everywhere with all his lovers, in every heart and everywhere. Maybe you feel Baba's presence more at Meherazad because he has lived there so much, walked there. Someone once asked Eruch why people come to India. Baba is everywhere. Eruch explained, it is like a bloodhound trying to locate a missing person. The bloodhound goes to the source, where the person lived, to pick up his scent and finally his trail. Then why do people often come back to India? Well, said Eruch sardonically, sometimes you lose the scent. After having darshan at Meherabad, Mehera and the other women sometimes stopped at the home of a local Baba lover for lunch before returning to Meherazad. One year when Mehera and the woman came to Sheila and the author's house at Meherabad for lunch, Goher remarked how nice it was that we had Baba's picture in every room. This was so important to Mehera, she observed, and she narrated this incident. Once we went to a Baba lover's home for lunch. Mehra did not see any photographs of Baba, and the people explained that they had one picture of Baba in their bedroom. Before having a meal or tea, Mehra would first offer it to Baba. The lovers offered Mehra tea, but she said she could not drink it before first offering it to Baba. And since she did not see Baba's picture, she could not drink the tea. She made them bring the photo of Baba and then had the tea. One pilgrim was impressed by Mehra's quiet, elegant dignity at all times, like that of a great empress. As Anita Villiard pointed out, there was something unmistakably aristocratic about Mehera's bearing and manner. The author once mentioned this to Mehera, saying, "You are a real queen, Mehera. Being with you is like being in the presence of royalty. I feel like answering, 'Yes, Your Majesty,' to everything you say." Laughing, Mehera said, "It's a reflection of your love for Papa." There's a picture of Mehera kissing Baba's Gadi, Upper Meherabad.
I think that's the same clothes that she was wearing when we saw her bowing to Samadhi before. Same time, maybe.
1970. There's another picture of Papa, and it says October 1965, Meherazad. Pictures of Mehera reading a letter and cutting a ribbon, inaugurating some beautifully decorated house, and it says opening of Guru Prasad Memorial, Pune, 4th February 1974. Left Adi Senior seated behind, right Meherji Mehera Mani Milan.
Just take another look at those, the top pictures. That little house is so cute.
She was the one that said that they should do that. They should have a little hall for as a remembrance of that.
Do you want to continue, Meher, or are you tired?
Well, is it time or do we have time more?
We have another 10 minutes.
Okay, I can read.
Thank you.
Take Baba with you. Every summer, Mehera and the women Mandli continued going to Pune, although, according to question, at first Mehera was not very keen on the idea. She would have preferred to stay at home, where everything was convenient. But Ahmednagar is brutally hot in summer, and Pune made for a pleasant change. It was Money, in brackets, who had relatives there, who reminded them that Baba had said, in March we marched to Pune. We stayed at Guru Prasad only twice after the last darshan, Mehru said. The second time to pack up all our things. Soon afterwards, Guru Prasad was sold. Some years later, Eruch encouraged us to visit Bindra house for a few days for a change in the summer. Later, we went first to Panchgani for a week or two, then to Bindra house for a week. But because of all the road sounds and the inconvenience of so many members in one house, with one bath and toilet in brackets, it was not convenient for Mehera to stay at Bindra house. In the later years, we stopped going to Panchgani and stayed at the Pune club. The separate cottage there near the tennis court was very private and comfortable, and it was a break from the extreme dry Nagar summer heat. In 1974, during their annual time in Pune, on the way to the dentist, the woman stopped at a church. Mehra had been to the church as a child and wished to go inside and show it to Mani, Mehru, and Goher. They slipped off their sandals and entered. No one else was there. The sanctuary had a lovely atmosphere, Mehra thought. She approached the front. They bowed to the statue of Mary and admired it. Pictures of Jesus carrying the cross adorned the walls. As she walked around looking at the scenes depicted, Mehra began feeling sad. She went along the aisle to the pew and up to the altar where there was a cross. It was hung at a height so she could not go nearer. She stood near a marble platform and looked at Jesus on the cross. I knew that Jesus was Baba in my heart, she said. Looking at the cross, I felt very upset and I was weeping. As I started weeping, that moment, an orphan began playing the song, Take My Hand, Precious Lord. I could not believe it and wept more. It kept, I must have said, as I started weeping that moment, an organ began playing the song. Take my hand, precious Lord. I could not believe it and I wept more. It kept playing softly. Someone had watched us enter and saw how we were so touched. The person started playing the organ. The atmosphere was so beautiful. Then Goher and Mani led me out as people started coming. Very slowly we retraced our steps outside.
Do the side note before it goes away.
Mehra said once that she never liked it in Christian art that whenever the baby Jesus is portrayed, there is always a cross in the sky over the child. It should be natural with a child, she opined. Why this preoccupation with the crucifixion always? About Guru Prasad, Mehra reminisced. It's a real pretty, it has been torn down. But the house was not new enough to last a long time. It was very beautiful as though it were built for Baba. The darshan hall and everything were perfect. The grounds at the back of the house, such a beautiful big space. It was just meant for Baba. However, she concluded there was no further use for it. Baba's work was done. Although Guru Prasad Palace was sold and later torn down to make way for apartments, a small memorial hall to Meher Baba was built on the site. It was Mehra who first suggested the idea of a memorial. Baba in summertime sat in the chair giving darshan. Even when he was not feeling well, she thought. In the heat, sitting in the chair, smiling, Baba gave of himself to his lover so much. Even at his age, in silence, giving of himself with so much love in 1962 and also 65. Before that, many other times too. Baba did so much for us, we must do something in his sweet memory. She did not like the idea of a statue that the Pune lovers had suggested. It would be in the sun all the time.
I think there was a side note on the left side, no? Ich
Yeah.
wollte.
Don't think so, but maybe. Let's see. Oh, yeah.
So, Don Stevens, etc. It's Tales from the New Life with Meher Baba. This is, I think, a asterisk somewhere will come. That is from Don Stevens' New Life.
Yeah, it seems to be next to the Guru
Prasad
Prasad Paula stuff. We should look it up sometime. Yeah. But
Mhm.
anyway,
Yeah.
it,
Well, before I want to ask Mihal if you know if that memorial is still there.
Guru Prasad, I know, but then don't record, please.
could you just finish reading and we'll be
Yeah,
done
yeah,
in
we'll talk after.
literally three
Yeah,
minutes. Yeah.
yeah.
It would be in the sun all that time, which Baba never liked, and in the rain. Besides, what the birds would do to it. Later, Baba Lovers India petitioned the government issue a commemorative stamp on Meher Baba's 100th birth anniversary. No stamp was issued, but Mehra expressed the view that if one is ever issued, it should not have Baba's image on it. Why not? She could not bear the thought of the postal officials cancelling Baba's beautiful face each time the stamp would be used. Instead, she suggested a stamp feature the tomb or Meherabad Hill. One day, when Mehra was brushing her teeth, she thought of having a small room built in Baba's memory on the grounds of Guru Prasad. Mani liked the idea and told Meherji, who arranged to have it constructed. During the groundbreaking ceremony, Mehra was handed a pickaxe to inaugurate the project. Those in charge thought that such a refined, sari clad woman of dainty stature would not be able to lift the pickaxe simply, let alone handle it. But Mehra was accustomed to wielding such implements for gardening, enthusiastically struck the earth more than once, and was still at it when the other said, "That's enough, Mehra." At the opening ceremony of the memorial on 4th February 1974, Mehra read out this short but poignant speech. Beloved Avatar Meher Baba, my beautiful beloved, you are the beloved of all your lovers. We love you most dearly, and yet our love is nothing compared to your sweet love for us, all your lovers, and for humanity. In fact, for all creation, for whose sake you have suffered in silence. A day will come when the world will sing your praises and will love you. You will be recognized as a God man, the beloved of all. We are standing once again in the grounds of Guru Prasad, which holds many precious memories for us who were with you. Guru Prasad is sacred with your beloved presence. It has become immortal in the hearts of our lovers all over the world. Here you gave yourself so freely in your infinite love for all, giving darshan to your lovers and to the multitude. Again and again, even when your health was weak. You served humanity in many, many ways, beloved, and the last seclusion of the 1968 was a tremendous strain on your dear body. May we love you more and more, beloved Baba, to be worthy of your very dear love for us. Beloved Baba brought so much beauty of love and happiness that his lovers sing to him. happy in his love. Our beloved Baba was the most beautiful man, most lovable, and most adorable. And he was most loving. His love was perfect. He was a perfect man as the beloved God man. Mehra mentioned the idea for the memorial coming to her while she was brushing her teeth. Since she sometimes remembered little things about Baba's life when by herself and then forgot what they were. She kept note cards and pencils handy throughout the house so she could jot down 2 or 3 words to remind herself of something. Bracket says BB on her note card stood for beloved Baba, for example. She even kept a card and a pencil until under her pillow during the night for the same purpose.
Thank you, Meher. We'll pick up here next week. Stop the recording.